Oh boy, did we. We needed a return to form, basically. After those last two episodes were kind of hitting the low point. They were getting rough. They were getting difficult to watch. I was starting to question if this season was any good. We get hit with another good classic episode. And this one might be plot, like pilot best on tier of how good this episode was. So, episode 14, The Odyssey. I am so glad that after seeing those last two episodes and not being happy at all with them, being kind of miserable, we have bounced back and hit ourselves a great episode. Oh man, this episode was good. So, before we go into, obviously, we gotta introduce the guest stars in this episode. So, there was only really one guest star, really, in this one. And she wasn't even in this episode for very long. She was only in it towards the end. But I know she's going to be in it a lot more. So I just wanted to get her out of the way while she was already introduced. As we have Selena Jade playing Shadow. That's the only one, really. That's the only person who's different in here. Yeah, so Rotten Tomatoes gave this one a perfect 100%. I think only episode 1 is the only other one we've had that was 100%. We've had we've had a couple of 90s, but I don't know if we've had another 100 up until now. And I agree, this one is by far 100% in my eyes. So, quick summary of this is Oliver turns to Felicity for help after he gets shot by his mom. And then basically this episode is just a flashback to the island and everything about Slade and Oliver trying to leave the island. So basically what I was asking for, I think it was last episode, we finally got it. We finally got ourselves a flashback episode. And obviously I knew getting a flashback episode meant we were going to get a good episode. And we got a good episode. This is a great episode. So obviously you know what I'm giving it. It's getting an A+. Like, it was very hard to find any flaws that I didn't like in this episode. It was hard to find really anything I didn't enjoy about this episode. Everything about this episode I enjoyed. Obviously, Oliver finally reveals himself to Felicity. Finally, after what? So many damn episodes of him, BSing his way and giving her stupid excuses. We finally get the reveal, and it took long enough. Like, even when she, gets down to the arrow cave and Diggle's like, I'm surprised you aren't more shocked about this. And he's like, what, did you call this? And she's like, well, he handed me a laptop full of bullets, handed me a dark arrow, and then also handed me syringes full of vertigo. Like, I mean, come on. After a while, she even says, like, I'm blonde, but I'm not that blonde. So, I mean, I'm so glad that we don't have to tiptoe around this anymore. It took them 14 freaking episodes, which is ridiculous. Maybe even less, because I don't think Felicity was in the first two. But still, my God, that took forever to get to this point. So I am glad that is finally revealed, that's out in the air. Oh, that couldn't have taken long enough. The Slade training. I enjoyed watching the baby, like the baby steps of Oliver becoming the arrow, the sticks where he was teaching Diggle in like previous episodes on how to fight. We see where they came from. Slade is teaching Oliver all the basics on how to disarm, how to fight, stealth. Like, he's doing everything for him because obviously he needs to train him and help him because he needs his back to get off the island, to get to the airstrip. So I love seeing that training session there. Loved seeing the, almost the birth of what would be Arrow, of, Green Arrow, basically. I enjoyed seeing that so much. Also, Slade and Oliver's relationship, like, their chemistry was so well, between those two. Slade giving him shit for wondering how he survived and saying how, Girl Scouts would be better than him, and then calling him, saying like that he fights like a girl would be a compliment, and he's shocked that he made it 6 months on this island. Like, just him giving him all this crap, and then Oliver just taking it, like, just taking the punches, basically, and just like, all right, okay, yep, I suck, all right, I'm gonna die. And then just a back and forth between both of them. And then they end up showing, like, Slade does care, and he's like, look, I can't let you die by yourself out here. You basically would have died if I didn't come and save you. And then Oliver basically telling him, like, you're my best friend. It's just weird that you're also my best friend who's named Wilson and I'm stuck on an island. So, I mean, there was jokes that they had between them, the chemistry. I enjoyed the scenes with those two, If it was just them the entire time and, them trying to get off the island on the plane trip, like, that would have been fine. If they didn't even try and go and save Fao Yang in this episode at all, I would have been fine. It wouldn't have bothered me at all, but I just enjoyed the chemistry they both had, and it just worked so well, You could feel the chemistry, at least to me anyway. How desperately Slade wants to get out of here, and how hard Oliver's going to try and get out of here, even though he doesn't know jack squat about fighting, disarming, none of that stuff. So it's great to see that. And then also the info we learned, we found out why Yao Fei is working with the bad guys on the island. He's doing it for his daughter, figure out why Slade Wilson has the exact same mask as the other guy. He tells him that his name is, I think, Billy Winters or Winter Green. I forget, something Green. I know that. Billy Green's one of those things. But basically how they used to be partners, and how he basically portrayed him, and that how Flyers is a guy who's just a mercenary and that someone else is hiring him. So there's someone a higher up that's working on the island. Obviously Felicity finding out about Oliver being the Green Arrow and the whole Arrow Cave, and how she's going to help them, even though she's not really going to help them. She's only doing it to help, Walter, because she likes Walter and he was nice to her. So we learned so much in this episode, and we also learned how Oliver basically became, what started him on his training to becoming the Arrow, So we learned so much in this episode. It felt like basically everything we needed in the last couple episodes happened in this episode. Now, would I rather have had those last episodes be good and this one be B+ level too? I'd rather have 4 straight B+, maybe an A thrown in there, than have a low C and a D+ just to get to an A+, basically here. It sucks that we had to get through rough patches to get to this point, but my God, was it good? It was worth it. If anything, I'd say this episode is worth the watch. If you're going to watch the season again, definitely worth the episode. There's no Detective Lance, so we get a break from him finally. We get exactly what I wanted from the last video, where it's just a flashback scene. I was really enjoying those flashbacks, and this whole episode is just centered around a flashback. And I love this episode. This episode was just done so well, and I can understand why it got itself 100%. Now, the only con I could say that I didn't really care for, and it's not even a huge con at all, it was just I didn't really care regardless if it was in there. If it was cut out, it wouldn't affect it to me at all. But it was the non-flashbacks when we're in present day, when Diggle and Felicity are trying to save Oliver. It was cool to see them, trying to save the man who saves everybody, basically, and them having to put their brains together and their skills together to try and keep Oliver alive and, make sure he doesn't go into cardiac arrest and die, basically. So it wasn't terrible, but it was just something that I didn't care for. It was probably the only time I would say I don't care to see Diggle in this episode, because you know how I feel. I love Diggle. That's my boy. Almost anytime Diggle's in here and he's a main focus, I usually always put him as a pro. But this one, I just wanted the flashback scenes. I didn't want any present day scenes at all. I just wanted the flashback ones. So to get it was basically the flashbacks were the present day, and the present day was the flashback. So I rather would have had less of the present day stuff and just focused more on the flashbacks. But obviously, it was a small gripe. It wasn't anything huge. It wasn't anything that took me out of the episode or anything like that. But the fact that we got it, and I just, the episode was just done so well, you know? I could sit here and gush about it over and over and over, but, you know, it wasn't a very complicated plot, you know? It's basically them basically needing to find a way out, train, get out of here, take the plane and go home. But Oliver being Oliver, you know, he has a debt to pay to Yao Fei, and he's got to go and save him, which, you know, he can't save him because he's trying to save his daughter. So it was just, there was so much going on, but it really didn't overwhelm me at all, you know? And I just, this was the episode that we needed. So, am I a little bit worried about what next week's episode is going to bring? 100%. I have no idea what episode 15 is going to do. I am 100% nervous because we just went from two type episodes to a great episode, and I feel like we're gonna end up hitting a snag, and we're gonna trip here a little bit and go back down to maybe another C. I'm hoping that doesn't happen. I'm hoping it's a good episode again. I'm not expecting it to be another 100% or an A+ in my book, but I am definitely looking for at least a B tier here. I don't want any more C's or, God forbid, another D. But I just want us to continue to keep getting better. You know, I don't want to say we're at the halfway point, but basically we kind of are past the halfway point. Like, there's only 9 episodes left, and I want to see more going on here. We still have no idea what's going on with the Undertake. So there are some stuff that needs to be wrapped up. We have no idea what's going to go on with Walter, what Mama Queen's planning on doing, how Oliver is going to stop the Undertake. That's apparently that, you know, we've learned that in the last episode that they were talking about. But yeah, so I mean, I'm a little worried about next week's episode 15. So I'm hoping that one doesn't scare me away and that we have to sit there and worry about it being a bad episode. You know, I'm hoping that it's not. Hopefully it'll be a good episode. We can keep this high train rolling, because after watching this episode, I'd like to keep this train going. So I can only hope, but you like what you like, hit the sub, hit the like, comment down below if you like this episode as much as I did, or if you hated it, tell me why you didn't like it. I want to hear your opinions. And yeah, if you want to continue watching what this one is, you know, watch this rest of the videos we've got for the Arrow season, hit the link in the description. Yeah. Also, check out the other series we got going on. I don't know at this point if Rick and Morty and the Ninja... I know the Ninja Turtles one's probably going to be done, so I don't know what series I'm doing after that one. But yeah, watch those ones. I also got a gaming channel as well, so go and check that out if you want. If you want to just see someone playing games and just having a relaxed time, because, you know, it takes off the pressure of editing these and stuff. It's like a nice little escape break. So yeah, go and check that out if you want. And yeah, I got nothing else to say. Otherwise, I'll be here for 20 minutes, and we don't want that anymore. That's why we're changing the format. So I will see you in the next episode. Have a good one.